A couple of years ago, I decided to reconnect with some old friends and classmates through Facebook. It was fascinating to see how everyone's lives had changed since high school. Amidst the friend requests and nostalgic conversations, I received a friend request from someone named Emily. Her profile picture was a familiar face from my past, but I couldn't quite place her. Curiosity got the better of me, and I accepted the request. Emily sent me a message almost immediately. "Hey, it's been so long, do you remember me?" I racked my brain, but her name didn't ring any bells. Still not wanting to be rude, I replied, "Hey, Emily, it's been ages. How have you been?" She responded quickly, sharing a few details about our supposed high school days together. Her messages were warm and friendly, filled with references to places and events that seemed vaguely familiar. I figured she must have been a classmate I had forgotten. Over the next few weeks, Emily and I chatted frequently. She seemed genuinely interested in my life, asking about my job, my family, and my hobbies. It was nice to have someone to talk to, even if I couldn't quite remember our shared past. One evening, Emily sent me a message that caught me off guard. "I've been going through some tough times lately. Could we meet up for coffee and catch up in person? I could really use a friend." Feeling sympathetic, I agreed. We set a time and place for the following weekend. The day of our meeting, I felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. I hoped that seeing her in person would jog my memory and help me remember our connection. The cafe was cozy and bustling with weekend activity. I arrived a bit early, ordered a coffee, and found a seat by the window. As I waited, my mind wandered, trying to piece together any memories of Emily. After a few minutes, I saw her walk in. She was exactly as she appeared in her profile picture. Short blonde hair, bright blue eyes, and a warm smile. We greeted each other with a hug, and Emily seemed genuinely happy to see me. We sat down and began to chat. The conversation started out light but quickly took a darker turn. Emily began sharing details about her recent struggles, her job loss, a bad breakup, and the loss of a close family member. I listened sympathetically, offering words of comfort and support. As the conversation went on, I started to feel uneasy. Emily's stories were filled with odd, inconsistent details, and there were moments when her eyes would glaze over, as if she were lost in thought. She began to speak about strange experiences she had been having, voices whispering in her ear at night, shadows moving in her peripheral vision, and the feeling of being watched. I tried to change the subject, but Emily seemed fixated on her experiences. She leaned in closer and lowered her voice. "I think someone is following me. They know everything about me, and they're always one step ahead." My heart raced as she spoke, the cafe suddenly feeling too small and too crowded. "Have you gone to the police?" I asked, trying to sound calm. Emily shook her head. "They won't believe me. No one does." At that moment, her phone buzzed on the table. She glanced at it, and her face paled. She showed me the screen. An unknown number had sent her a message. "I see you." A chill ran down my spine. "Emily, this isn't safe. We need to get out of here." She nodded, her eyes wide with fear. We quickly gathered our things and left the cafe. Outside, the streets were busy with people, but I couldn't shake the feeling that we were being watched. I walked Emily to her car, my mind racing with thoughts of how to help her. As we reached her car, Emily grabbed my arm. "Thank you for believing me," she said, her voice trembling. "I don't know what I would have done without you." I gave her a reassuring smile. "You're not alone, Emily. We'll figure this out together." She got into her car and drove away, and I headed home, my mind heavy with worry. That night I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about Emily and the strange turn our meeting had taken. Around midnight, I decided to check my Facebook messages, hoping for some clarity. To my shock, I found a message from Emily's account, sent just an hour ago. "Thank you for meeting me today. It meant a lot. But there's something I need to tell you. Check your front door." My heart pounded as I walked to my front door. I opened it slowly, half expecting to find nothing. Instead, there was a small, wrapped package on the doorstep, I brought it inside, my hand shaking, and carefully unwrapped it. Inside was a USB drive. I plugged it into my computer and opened the only file it contained, a video. The screen flickered to life, showing grainy footage of a dark room. Emily was tied to a chair, her face bruised and her eyes filled with terror. A masked figure stood behind her, speaking directly to the camera. "Hello, friend," the figure said, their voice distorted. "Thank you for taking such good care of Emily. But now it's your turn." The video cut off and my screen went black. My phone buzzed with a new message from an unknown number. "I see you." Panic surged through me. I called the police and reported everything, but they couldn't trace the number or the source of the video. I changed my locks, installed security cameras, and stayed with friends for a while, too afraid to be alone. I never heard from Emily or the masked figure again, but the experience left me paranoid and wary. What started as a simple friend request on Facebook turned into a nightmare. A few months ago, I received a peculiar invitation on Facebook. It was from a group called The Inner Circle. The name piqued my curiosity, and the group's profile picture, a black circle with an intricate, almost hypnotic design, added to the allure. The group was private, and the invite came from a user I didn't recognize. Bored and intrigued, I decided to accept the invitation. Upon entering the group, I found it to be eerily silent. There were only a handful of posts, all cryptic and vague. One post read, "The truth is hidden in the darkness," accompanied by an image of an old, decrepit house. Another post showed a series of symbols and numbers, but no explanation. The members were equally silent, their profiles shrouded in mystery with no personal details or photos. Feeling a bit creeped out but also curious, I posted a simple message. "Hi, new here. What's this group about?" My post received no replies, but I noticed a sudden influx of new friend requests from group members. Against my better judgment, I accepted a few, hoping to uncover more about this enigmatic community. Over the next few days, I noticed strange things happening. My phone would buzz with notifications from the group at odd hours, usually around 3 a.m. The post became more disturbing images of abandoned buildings, dark forests, and cryptic messages that seemed to hint at some hidden knowledge or truth. One night I received a direct message from a group member named Marcus. His profile picture was a dark silhouette, and his bio was simply the word "Seeker." "Welcome to the Inner Circle," his message read. "Are you ready to see the truth?" I replied cautiously. "What truth?" Marcus responded almost immediately. "The truth about the darkness. Meet us tomorrow night at midnight. Here's the location." He sent a GPS coordinate. When I looked it up, it pointed to a remote forested area outside of town. Every instinct told me to ignore it, but my curiosity was overpowering. I decided to go, thinking it was probably just an elaborate prank. The next night, I drove to the location, my heart pounding. The forest was dense and dark, the only light coming from my car's headlights. I parked at the edge of the woods and followed a narrow, winding path. After a few minutes, I saw a faint light in the distance. As I approached, I saw a circle of people standing around a fire. They were dressed in dark robes, their faces obscured by hoods. Marcus stepped forward, his hood lowered, revealing a sharp, intense gaze. "Welcome," he said, his voice low and authoritative. "You've come to learn the truth." I felt a chill run down my spine. "What is this?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. Marcus smiled. "We are the Inner Circle. We seek to uncover the hidden truths of this world, to connect with the darkness that surrounds us." The others murmured in agreement, their faces hidden in shadow. I started to back away, but Marcus reached out and grabbed my arm. "Stay," he said, his grip firm. "The ritual is about to begin." Fear surged through me, but I was too scared to move. The group began to chant in a language I didn't recognize, their voices rising and falling in a hypnotic rhythm. The fire flickered and seemed to grow darker, casting eerie shadows on the trees. Suddenly, the chanting stopped. Marcus stepped forward holding a small, ornate box. He opened it, revealing a black stone that seemed to pulse with an unnatural energy. "This is the source of our power," he said, holding the stone up to the light. "It reveals the truth, but it also demands a sacrifice." Before I could react, the group closed in around me, their hands grasping at my arms and shoulders. I struggled, but their grip was too strong. "You've been chosen," Marcus said, his eyes gleaming with a sinister light. "The darkness has called you." Panic overtook me. "Let me go," I screamed, but my voice was drowned out by their chanting. I felt like this was the end. The grip of the robed figures tightened, and Marcus's eyes gleamed with a sinister light. Just when I thought all hope was lost, bright beams of light pierced through the darkness. Flashlights. The chanting faltered as a group of campers emerged from the trees, their voices filled with alarm. "Hey, what the hell is going on here?" one of the campers shouted. The inner circle members froze, their ritual disrupted. The campers shined their flashlights directly at Marcus and the others, illuminating their hooded faces. Panic spread among the cultists, and they began to scatter, retreating into the shadows of the forest. Seizing the opportunity, I broke free from their grasp and ran toward the campers. My legs were shaking and my heart was pounding, but the adrenaline pushed me forward. "Are you okay?" one of the campers asked, their flashlight steady on my face. I nodded, breathless and terrified. Thank you so much." The campers formed a protective circle around me, their flashlights sweeping the area to ensure the cultists were gone. The leader of the group, a tall woman with a commanding presence, placed a reassuring hand on my shoulder. "We heard the chanting and saw the fire," she said. "It didn't sound right, so we came to check it out. You're lucky we did." I shuddered at the thought of what might have happened if they hadn't intervened. "I need to get out of here," I said, my voice trembling. "We'll walk you back to your car," she said. "You shouldn't be out here alone." As we made our way back through the forest, I recounted the events of the night to the campers. They listened with a mix of shock and concern, their flashlights guiding us safely to the edge of the woods. When we reached my car, I thanked them profusely. They insisted on staying with me until I was safely inside and my car was started. With one last wave of gratitude, I drove away, my hands gripping the steering wheel tightly. The next morning, I reported the incident to the police. They assured me they would investigate, but I couldn't shake the feeling that the inner circle would be difficult to track down. Their secrecy and ability to disappear into the night left me with a lingering sense of unease. I deleted my Facebook account and changed my phone number, hoping to distance myself from the inner circle. The fear lingered, but I knew I had narrowly escaped something truly sick. I'm forever grateful to those campers that saved me that night. A few months ago, I stumbled upon something bizarre and unnerving on Facebook. I was scrolling through my feed, catching up on the usual updates, when I received a friend request. The request was from someone named Emma Hayes. The profile picture was a generic image of a landscape, but we did have over a dozen mutual friends. Curiosity got the better of me, and I clicked on the profile. As soon as I saw the profile, a chill ran down my spine. The name, the bio, the photos, it was all me. This profile had my exact name, my personal details, and even photos from my own Facebook account. The only difference was that the profile picture and cover photo were different, and the posts were strange, almost creepy in tone. I accepted the friend request, wanting to get to the bottom of this. How in the hell is this person imitating me, and my so-called Facebook friends have said nothing? Almost immediately, I received a message from the doppelganger profile. "Hello, Emma, nice to meet you." I stared at the message, my heart racing. It felt like I was looking into a twisted mirror. I replied, trying to keep my composure. "Who are you? Why are you using my information?" The response came quickly. "I am you, Emma. Or rather, I'm what you could have been." Goosebumps rose on my arms. The whole situation was surreal, like something out of a nightmare. I decided to investigate further and scrolled through the doppelganger's timeline. The posts were eerie and unsettling, with captions that seemed to mock my life. One post showed a photo of my childhood home with the caption, "Home Sweet Home, where the secrets lie." Another was a picture of my old high school, with the words, "Remember the time we fell?" I had indeed fallen and broken my arm at that school, an event I had never shared on Facebook. I felt a creeping sense of dread. Whoever this was, they knew too much about me. I went through the profile's friend list and recognized some names, people from my past that I hadn't thought about in years. How did they know all these details? I decided to block the profile, hoping that would be the end of it. But the next day, I received an email from an unknown sender. The subject line read, "You can't escape yourself." The email contained only a single image, a photo of me sitting at my desk, taken from outside my window. Panic surged through me. I rushed to the window and looked out, but there was no one there. I called the police and reported everything, but without concrete evidence, there was little they could do. They advised me to be cautious and report any further incidents. That night I could hardly sleep. I kept my lights on and checked my phone repeatedly. Around 3 a.m. I received another message from the doppelganger profile on Facebook. It simply said, "Are you scared, Emma?" Terrified, I decided to delete my Facebook account. As I was about to deactivate it, another message came through. "You can't hide forever." I deleted my account and hoped that would be the end of it. For a while, things were quiet. I started to relax, thinking I had finally rid myself of this nightmare. But then I started receiving text messages from an unknown number. The messages were the same as the ones from the doppelganger profile, eerie and taunting. One day I came home to find a note taped to my front door. "I'm closer than you think," it read. I called the police again, but they still couldn't do much without any concrete evidence of a threat. Feeling helpless, I decided to install security cameras around my house. I hoped they would at least give me some peace of mind. A few nights later, I received an alert from one of the cameras. I checked the footage and saw a figure standing in my driveway, staring directly at the camera. The person wore a hood, and their face was obscured, but I knew it was the person behind the doppelganger profile. The next morning, I packed my bags and left town, staying with a friend in another city. I changed my phone number, deleted all my social media accounts, and tried to start fresh. For weeks, I was constantly looking over my shoulder, but eventually the fear began to fade. One evening, as I was settling into my new routine, I received a friend request on a newly created Facebook account. The name on the request was Emma Hayes, and the profile picture was a generic landscape. My blood ran cold. I didn't accept the request. Instead, I deleted my account once more, determined not to let this person back into my life.